What is happening? We got a show going, guys. I wasn't sure if this one was going to happen. I will explain in a moment. Let's get some greetings going. Hello all. I see Therese in here. I see Doc. I see Glenn. I see Tom. I see Susan. I may have missed some people. Hello all. Thank you for coming to the show. Things are working. So, what do we got going on in chat here? I would like to thank a semi-anonymous donor. I've got a couple people who tend to donate before my show starts so it doesn't show up for everyone to see. So you know who you are. I'm guessing you're doing that to not be embarrassed during the show. So nonetheless, that is greatly appreciated. So we'll get that. Yes, thanks are always in order on those things. So last Monday, my system went crazy. And all of a sudden, with all my students, I teach regularly online, and with all of my students, I was unable to get my audio to go to them. And teaching music, it kind of matters. I did troubleshooting for 9 hours on Monday, reinstalled my operating system on Tuesday, still had the same problem. After another 2 hours of working on it, I finally figured out what happened. So then a complete rehaul of everything, completely reset my entire broadcasting software setup, totally went crazy with it. Finally got like late Wednesday, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is working. And then I got on for my lesson with Susan earlier, who's watching now on YouTube. And my audio wasn't working. Fortunately, it was just, I missed a button that I had to check as I got into the Zoom meeting. So everything's good. Whew, it's been another crazy. So in the last month, I reinstalled my operating system twice. So I've got a nice clean install on my computer. Things are running well. Looks like we got some kind of normal stuff going on here. Jerry's talking about being moist. Glenn is agreeing with him. Everyone's happy that we got fog. I'm happy we got. I think my parents might be watching tonight. They were on vacation last week, and so again, thank you for the smoke machine. Particularly, I believe it was my dad that said, "Let's get Randy a smoke machine." So, thanks. This is awesome. It really does look a lot better like this. So, loving that. All right. I did not have the mute button. No. So my setup is crazy complex to be able to do everything that I do. And I mean, I've got like so many programs running fortunately, I've got a pretty strong computer. You know, it's not, super high end, but it's a pretty strong piece of equipment. And in order for me to get audio so Twitch would have worked. Twitch and YouTube, these shows would have worked. But to get that stuff to my students, I have to, in two places in my broadcast software, I have to install a sound device that I will not use for anything at all in my computer, and route the audio to that, and then use another plugin to circumvent that, so to speak, and actually get that into Zoom or Skype or Teams or whatever stupid software we're doing our meeting with. And I downloaded an additional piece of software that tripped this little thing up in there. Just silly. Once I figured out, I'm like, oh, okay, got this. So now I got to re-download some stuff, and so it was pretty mad. My parents are here. That's awesome. And yes, it's true. The octopus does say, So as the title says today, I'm playing Finite Reality, and that's just because as I was thinking earlier in the week, what am I going to play this week? I was just like, you know what? I feel like playing Pile of Skulls. I love playing that song. I haven't played it for a while, so boom! That's what we got going on. Basically, any show that I do now, I have to take a show I've already set lights up for and modify all those lights. Because when I did my first reinstall a few weeks ago, I forgot to save how my light program was set up, so I redid it in kind of a better way. So it's things change. That's what I'm trying to say. Things change. So things have changed. Perfect, Tom. Well, I was with you until you cut your fingers off, so we're kind of even there. Because that's and Tom, I hope you're doing well. Every time I hear about an injury to someone's hands, I'm just like, I'm actually going to brag about my dad here again for a moment. So my father, long since retired, was a machinist his entire life. He worked in machining metals, was very good at it, and he's one of the only people that he knows that he worked with that still has all 10 of his fingers. And he's even talked about how he will still wake up with nightmares, like clutching his hands, because he's had this nightmare about getting his hands crushed in a 50-ton press or something, the crazy equipment they worked with. So, and like as a musician, it's just like those hand injuries are like, no, this is not good. So, table saws are sharp. That's true. I think you meant sharp. So I'm still going to make fun of you, even if you don't got all your fingers. All right. So anyway, we're playing Finite Reality tonight. This is one, I did kind of a series of albums, like 53 to 62 or so, that I felt like were some of my better work. This is number 60. And I've always just really got a kick out of playing this one. So we're going to keep playing. Again, thank you all for coming in. Let's have a great time here. This next song is called The Ghost of Temptation. No matter what software I set up, still got to click on the right screen before I can do anything with it. All right. The Ghost of Temptation. It is running. Give it a second. Here it goes. All right, I'm dropping picks already, as per usual. I think it's funny how dramatic the song lead in is, the more of a chance there is that you'll forget. You know, there seems to be a proclivity there for me. And it works so well, because I've got this big dramatic build-up. Oh, this song's about such and such, and it's wah! And then nothing. Such a letdown. And I noticed that Miss Susan picked out that I was using some elements of the Byzantine scale. She and I have talked about that a few times in our lessons. Dr. Hildegard Landstrom just threw $5 on the stage. Thank you, Dr. Hildegard. Yes, Dr. Hildegard Landstrom, for those who are unfamiliar, was the creator of the epideme virus that got stuck in Dave Lister's right arm, and they had to cut it off. Oh, there must be something about Lewis TE's. Oh, no. Almost lost your fingers in a diesel engine. Yes, yeah, see, those diesel engines, they're stronger than your fingers. Hard to believe, but true. So you do got to watch for that. Chuck did the whole, I don't know who Chuck is. Crazy stuff. Yeah, we had, when I was working out at, we've talked before about that company I used to work for, that I will allow them to maintain their anonymity. The company that produces large customer and or passenger and cargo jet aircraft in Western Washington, anonymous company. Yes, I saw a few people not do too well with their fingers out there. Bad times, bad times. Be careful with your fingers, you guys. We got musicians in the audience. And you know, we just got people who have fingers in the audience, so, except for Tom. Fly Airbus. Yes, they make the same product in another location. All right. So, let's have a big dramatic build up to this next song. Because this song actually will be somewhat familiar to anyone who is familiar with the band that I just forgot their name. I grew up listening to it. I loved this band. I listened to them all the time in high school. Metal Church. So awesome. This track was totally inspired by their title track, the song Metal Church, off of the album Metal Church by the band Metal Church. I know, crazy creativity with the title there. Great song though. So awesome. I just listened to that all the time back in high school. So this was it. Some of the riffs in here have got some similar feel to them. The song is nothing like that, but this is definitely a bit of a little tribute to the band Metal Church, that for some reason I keep forgetting their name. So with all that, let's see if I can start this song and actually play it the way we're supposed to. That's a fun song to play. So good. I like my own music. That, you know, I've probably said this before, but I really think that if you are going to be a creator, you should like your own work. You should be a fan of yourself. You earn this stuff, so yeah, let it be so. This is good. I've always set out to create music that I would enjoy listening to, and I've been very fortunate to say that for the most part, that works. Is that a cigarette you're smoking, Lister? No, it's a chicken. Smoke me a kipper. I'll be back in time for breakfast. The cat is definitely my favorite character on the show, but the alter ego Ace Rimmer is probably a really close second. I mean, the cat's got style. There's no way around that one, but Ace Rimmer is freaking awesome. Thank you very much for the compliments, everyone. Glad that you are enjoying the stuff and the things and junk. So, yes. Good to be back. Good to have my stuff working. Good to have figured everything out. You know, when you go into these really complex systems, it is pretty normal that you're going to have to do some more complex manner of troubleshooting at times. So, that kind of happens. I'm bleeding in an unfashionable color. You think I might get gangrene? Green with peach? I think I can pull that off. So here's one for you, Doc. If you can, without looking it up, or for anyone else who wants to, if you can do it without looking it up, bonus, who was the manufacturer of Taki the Toaster? Put your answers in. That is a great Ollie quote. Put your answers in for the manufacturer of Taki the Toaster without looking it up, if possible. We'll see what you come up with after this song. We're getting on the G sharp realm. This is in C sharp. We're only one note away from being in G sharp minor, and that is coming up. That is going to happen if the show works. I mean, there have been a few times that we've been playing along when the show just completely shuts down right before we get to the G sharp minor part. But we're close. We've gotten to the C sharp minor portion of the show. Not quite as exciting, but we'll take it. This song is called On the Run. Oh, got a wonky light again. Guys, talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to fix a wonky light. This will only take a moment. Be right back with you. Still don't understand how these lights sometimes just kind of change their channel. They're not the most high-end lights around, so that's probably a lot of it. Ah, there we are. Quick and easy fix. We are tracking again. Fog machine's okay if the guitar that's smoking. Thank you very much, Mr. Tom, and your lack of fingers. Love it. It was Crapola. Crapola Incorporated was the manufacturer of Taki Toaster. All right. Yes. Blending of fashionable colors. Good. So I'm kind of working with this foot pedal. I did this, man, probably back like 6-8 months ago. I set up this foot pedal, and it gives a little better clarity to the sound. I don't know how well that all comes across to, people listen on different speaker systems and headphones, and some people listen to big systems, and some people listen on cell phones. So I don't know how well it comes across, but hopefully the audio quality's got a little better, it's kind of separation and clarity and stuff. So I'm kind of working my way around the foot pedal here today, experimenting with stuff and fiddling with it. Mr. Arnold in his name's Rimmer, or Smeghead, or Dinosaur Breath, or Molecule Mind, or on rare occasions when you really want to really be mega polite to him, and we're talking mega polite here, on those exceptional circumstances, you can call him an arsehole. I don't usually use those terrible words on here, but it is a quote by Mr. Lister. The training of Crichton is what Doc's talking about there. I should say the history of the training of Crichton, because as we all know, Red Dwarf is a documentary by the BBC, and everything that happens in it is factual. That's just the way life works, kids. Lately as I've been working on stuff, I mention occasionally, particularly in my composition streams, I'll talk about my kind of process, and a lot of times I'll have in one of my monitors, I'll just have like some old sitcoms playing, and there's just kind of like that slight distracted thing I feel like actually helps me in my creative processes. And so lately I've had, I think it's 5 shows. I got like Wings, Cheers, Taxi, Red Dwarf, How I Met Your Mother, 6 shows, The Big Bang Theory, just kind of playing on random. So every once in a while I get some Red Dwarf or some Cheers or some whatever, and yeah, it's a very fun way to do it. So I've definitely been getting a little Red Dwarf time of late, because that's what I do. In case you were wondering, this next song is called You May Be Wondering. And then before I hit play with my big dramatic build-up, this one's kind of cool because it's got these kind of key changes. It starts in E Locrian. Locrian is a diminished mode. For those who may not, diminished in music tends to be a very dissonant chordal quality. So that very dissonant sound, it's actually dissonance is very important in music depending on how we use it. So this starts in a diminished mode known as a Locrian. And then I believe that it transitions to a Phrygian, or maybe an Aeolian, but more of a normal kind of sounding minor mode. It's always interesting doing these solos in this Locrian and trying to pull out that Locrian nature of what's going on. So this is a very fun song, in case you may be wondering. I think it might be safe to say, it might be. I'm sure it's not dangerous, but it might be safe to say that Crichton is Doc's favorite character from Red Dwarf. I'm sure Doc can confirm or deny. I point down here like you guys all can see what I'm looking at. In case you're wondering, and I have been giving a lot of thought to the requests, particularly from last week. Queeg just threw $5 on the stage. Holly's IQ has a 6 in it, but it's not 6,000. It's 6. Thank you very much, Queeg, for all your difficult ways that you have. We do appreciate the money. And I was right. I was just talking about, I've definitely given a lot of consideration to making a video of a studio tour. A lot of people have been asking about. I think I want to make a few changes to some things before I do that. But what I'm basically looking at is over on my left, your right, unless you are in mirror view, then it's your left. It doesn't matter. On my left, I've got a picture of my broadcast software. So that shows my scene changes, which camera's active, and that kind of stuff. And right in front of me on my bigger monitor, I've got my sheet music going by. And I actually turn that screen to a negative so that the background is dark. And it's much easier for me to see a lot of things about that when that's in a darker position. And then over here, I've got my chat and other Twitch, YouTube stuff that shows, people who have followed or tipped or anything. And so that's what I'm looking at. And sometimes I have a fourth monitor going. I haven't had that for a while. I don't think if I had that since I've turned to this side of the room. So yeah, that's what I got going on. So as you guys know, I know some of you guys have seen this album before. It's an album, I've probably played this, I don't know, 6 or 8 times. On every album, I do a dedication to someone. And this was, when I was doing these particular albums, I had like an 8-week section. I was doing an album a week. And that was, it's one of my favorite periods of my own production. And I always get permission from a person before I use their name for dedication in my videos, anything like that. And I just didn't feel like dealing with people. So for four albums in a row, I dedicated songs to my grandparents who are dead, and I didn't have to get their permission. So this song is for my dead grandma Marie. She's dead along with my other dead grandma Helen, and my dead grandpa Eli, and my dead grandpa Art, because they're all just really, really dead. I mean, they're done for. And fortunately, I come from the kind of family where we make fun of our dead relatives. Because we are a bunch of sick, twisted people in my family. This is not a sick, twisted song. It's actually a very pleasant piece. And I don't know if Susan is still watching. I know she often isn't able to stick around for the whole show. Oh, looks like Wango Tangle's in. Wango Tangle time. Thanks for coming in, bud. She actually took this and she asked my permission to do a derivative work of it. And I was like, of course. She does a lot of composition for choral work and similar kinds of things. And she did this choral version of this that's just, I would love to hear it actually done by a big choir. She did a beautiful job on it. And so this song always makes me think of Grandma Marie and Susan, who were very, very different personalities. Both great, but yes, wildly different people. This song is called The Shadow's Embrace. A lot of dead people. Cool down over here. Nice. Yeah, I think Wango doesn't live too terribly far from where I'm at. I know we were up over here in Eastern Washington. We got up, I think, to just a touch over 100 a couple of days ago. It's cooled down significantly. I think it was like low 80s today, much more. It does get pretty hot over here at times. There are certainly hotter places in the world you can live, but we have our moments. And so 85, so a little toastier where you're at than where we are. But yeah, good stuff. All right, so speaking of cooling things down, I don't think we should. Because, you see, something's about to happen. And some of you people already know what it is. There might be some people who are not familiar with what's about to happen. So let me lay it out for you. Because ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the G sharp minor portion of the show. You are welcome. You know, I don't even know how this G sharp, I think when I was first doing this, I was just being silly and I just did that big G sharp minor announcement and it just totally stuck. And there's really no reason for it at all, but it's totally, I really do like, I think probably my C sharp minor and G sharp minor are probably two of my favorite keys. I really enjoy F minor, and yeah, you know, and I think part of it is a lot of guitar players, and I don't mean this as a put down, but a lot, particularly in the rock realm, a lot of music is created in E minor and A minor. Those are very convenient positions on the guitar. So even if they're, you know, if a guitar player tunes their guitar down a half step or a whole step, they're still playing an E minor or A minor position. And I've just always gone like, you know, let's do some different stuff. Let's not just do everything in E minor and A minor. And yeah, and so the G sharp minor and C sharp minor are very cool. The way you can manipulate things with the open strings on the guitar. Mr. Flibble. Oh, yes, he does get cross, Mr. Flibble. So you're saying that you want to ride on a magic carpet to talk to the king of the potato people, and you want me to believe that you're completely sane. And that leads us right into the G sharp minor song, which is called To Think Beyond Rationality. something like that. All right. Got to figure out what, okay. I think I got everything set correctly here. Cool. All right, someone can confirm something. That the gifts that they have on PJR to play with. What is PJR? Peanut Butter and Jelly Romance? Popular Justinian religions? I don't know. I have no idea what that's about. We need at least the evil bunny bounce. That you do need. Bunny rabbit, no pancakes here, of course. This is important information. People need to have this. I'm glad that's out there. Time to tumble. Time to geology. Geology this house down, baby. Let's do it. Good stuff. All right. So, we got to the G sharp minor portion and the internet did not explode. The world is still intact. That's kind of a shame, actually, but you know, we'll go with what we got. We need some more smoke in here. I can see that right away. I gotta get my portions figured. This definitely produces more smoke than my older one did. The one that tried to burn my house down. So it like fills up real well, and then I gotta figure out when to add to. So we'll see what. When to host a rock show on PJR on Thursdays. He's cool. Send me the info for that, please. I think that at one time, Wango, you had said something about having me on your show. I didn't know that was a radio show, but yeah, send me some info. I'd like to check your show out. That sounds awesome. Cool. Yeah, and everyone else, check out PJR radio station. Let's do it. Cool. Get in touch with me through themadpoet.net. THEMADPOET.net. For those who are wondering how to spell themadpoet.net. That little dot, you don't have to spell it out. Just use a little teeny filled in circle thing that you can find on your keyboard. That's how you do it. That's how I do it. That's how we do it. That's how it's done. All right. We got smoke. We got G sharp minor. We got a little dot on our keyboard. We got keyboards. We got crazy stuff. We got good times. We got bad times. Let's make sure that the correct app is on. This song is called Thought Is All I Am. I did get it wrong. I got it wrong. I totally got it wrong. This was a different kind of getting it wrong now. This one I got wrong by not having my cursor in the right place on the right app. So I got to make sure my correct stuff is highlighted so my foot pedal will work. I think we're in good shape. Ha ha! Thought is all I am. Good times. Thought is all I am. Taki Tina. Okay, something's crazy going on. We've got Taki Tina dolls. On the Run, Good Guys Factory, Chucky dolls. I have no idea what you people are on about over here. So, whew. Taki Tina dolls. Yeah. I want Taki Toaster, not Taki Tina. That's all the Taki I know. So, you guys do your thing over here. that episode with the sirens. Oh, that's a fun one. Poor sucker must have written it using a combination of his own blood and even his own intestines. But who would do that? Someone who badly needed a pen. What I don't understand is why he went to the trouble of using his own kidney as a full stop. Great episode. And yeah, I still have no idea. You guys are talking about dolls. You guys should watch the show Con Man. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's a web series by Alan Tudyk, who played Washed in Firefly. Of course, you are all familiar with Firefly because that is a requirement for being alive. And so he made this show that the episodes are like, 10, 12, 15 minutes each. And it's just hilarious. And there's this one part where they're at this nerd convention, Comic-Con type thing. As the whole con man is convention man. This is like this out of work actor played by Alan Tudyk who's going around all these cons still trying to be somewhat relevant. And it's just kind of a comedy of errors. And there's this one where there's this nerd convention and there's also a doll convention in the same hotel convention center, and it's great. What's Firefly? You're fired. Not as my moderator or as my friend, but as a living being, because that is unacceptable in all ways. As you know, everyone knows that. It's innate to what we are. You should be treated the way Wash was treated in the Serenity movie. That's right. A massive spear through your chest. Kids these days. How do Reavers wash their spears? They run them through the wash. Yep. All right. So this is the song that I was wanting to play today. And now I got to remember how this actually goes. But yeah, oh yeah. Okay. F sharp minor, 147 beats a minute. Yes, we can do this. It's people like you, Doc. People who want to pretend you don't know what Serenity is. People who like mushrooms on their pizza. Yeah, it's people like you. I dedicated this song to you. Not this song, no. This song I'm going to dedicate to myself tonight. This is called A Pile of Skulls. see something about not fitting in the saw by Tom here, so I'm guessing we're making fun of his fingers again. That's always a good thing to do. hard for Tom. I'm going to give Tom this probably hard for him to type right now. And actually Tom did, now that I think about it, Tom did make a little request prior to the show that I do some acid trip deliverance. Let's do that. We haven't done any slide guitar for a while. Let's get some slide going. Yes. Let's do some slide guitar. All right. Give me just un momento, señorita. That's my awesome Spanish there. All right, so clean guitar. Let's turn that on. And that off. Input, okay. You guys talk amongst yourself while I switch guitars here. Gonna get old Red down, tune her up. Hopefully I know where my slide is. I'm pretty sure it's right over here. Let's see if we got a slide. We got a slide. Boom. Pinky five. That's actually fairly close. All right. Boom! Where's my cable at? From my man Tom. Touch out here. fun. Acid Trip Deliverance, baby. Nothing but good times. Thank you very much. I'm glad you liked it. Looks like Wingo may have to take off. Hey, thanks for coming in. If you're still here, thank you very much for watching. Always good to have you on board and around, joining in, watching, listening, doing what you do. I need a guitar. I don't have a guitar here. Now I do. All right. Whoo! Yeah. Thanks for the request, Tom. That was good. Switch back some electric style guitar here. Some electric guitar. All right, turn that clean tone guitar off. Joan Jett was awesome. Is awesome. I mean, she's still around. Cool guitar player. She did some fun stuff. I like her music a lot. She kicked it very, very, very well, very effectively. Yeah, that was good stuff. So this next song, so we're moving into the last song of the night here. I again want to thank everyone for coming in. I love doing these shows. I just always have a good time with this. And this last song is called Before Eternity. And this is an interesting one because I kind of used this hybrid of scales to get what I wanted to get. There are some certain chords I kind of wanted to use that don't really fit into a scale. So sometimes you just kind of force it, you know. I always tell my students and, you know, anyone who's, you know, listening to me talk about music theory, I mean, these are not rules. Music theory, they're guidelines. You do not have to follow any of the rules in music, any of the rules, any of the guidelines. And a lot of times breaking away from those guidelines is some of the better stuff that we produce. So this one's a little weird to work with just because I kind of got to think about where I'm going because of I basically used a Phrygian, which is, in a scale there's 8 notes. It's actually 7. The 8th note is a repeat of the first note, an octave higher. Okay, so that's a standard minor scale I played. So in this one, I used the second note, I used 1 fret lower. And then the 7th note, I made 1 fret higher. And so it gives you this kind of, this cohemitonic feeling between 7, 1, and 2 in your scale, which I'm sure all of you are following this. This is just normal conversation that you have around the Thanksgiving table, right? So that's what's going on here, and it gives a great sound. This song is called Before Eternity. We just had a raid! Everglow! Hey, you know what? I was about to sign off, but if we got people hanging out, then why don't I go ahead and load up another album and keep going? How's that sound? Let's do, let me see what I got here. Because I'm kind of digging the whole keeping the vibe going. We got a great crew here tonight. So let me just take a quick look through here. Now what we got last week, I've only got 4 albums prepared. So last week I played album number 48, Murder Terminology. I played album number 55, Patron Saint the Murderers. Tonight I'm playing number 60. Find out what was the one I did before that. You know, let's do Murder Terminology. That's always a kicking album. This will only take a moment. Do that one out. That perfect. I would do Robots for People too, except that's not ready to go. I've only got 4 albums ready with my current light setup. Heal 2, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're enjoying the music. We're going to play some more for you. In fact, this next song is going to be going out to you. First person to follow. This is only like my 2nd or 3rd raid ever. So I really appreciate it. That is super cool. Let me figure. So I gotta shut this down, and then I gotta take this. So you guys are gonna lose my audio, hopefully just very briefly, and I'm gonna be right back up, and we're gonna get this going again. All right, and you should have my audio again. Hopefully we will be reasonably well balanced. Looking for a minute while you put away your gear. And Everglow, hey, tell us about your show. How did your stream go? I would love to hear. I'd love to hear about what's going on there. While I get my stuff ready to keep rocking you guys. Okay, so that looks like. Okay. I need to turn this up on my end. Oh, I see what's going on there. Okay, that's working. I think I got a slightly different tone on it. Shoegaze, cool. I also do primarily originals. That's awesome. 90s grungy shoegaze emo. That's awesome. Love it. Absolutely loving it. Hopefully your stream was awesome. I know we've been having a kick on this one tonight. So all I got to get going here, I need to get my sheet music opened up because I do not memorize my music. I read sheet music and I improvise because when you have over 600 songs, it's kind of pointless to try to memorize all that. Okay, where's my folder here? Murder Terminology Live. Boom. Oh, let's get the right file. Okay. Of the album, and so yes, thanks for the compliment. That is really cool that you came across my stream and gave me a hell yeah. That always makes me feel really good. I love doing it, and I think that's the thing with most streamers. You know, there's always that advice for streamers of, just be yourself, and I'm like, no, don't be yourself. Be a character. This is not, when I'm having dinner with Sarah, I'm not like, thanks for the tips. My life is very different when I'm not on stage, whether that be on a stage or in my really cool studio here. So I Yeah, Doc here, for those who may be unfamiliar, was actually a drummer on my very first album, which was released back in 2004. So now, we just played my 60th album called Finite Reality. And now that we got some more people hanging out, we're going to play my 48th album. This is called Murder Terminology. And let me just make sure. You're going to lose audio again just for a moment. You probably didn't. I had everything muted. My apologies. I know I was talking. I had to get everything set up. I just had an emergency reinstallation of my entire operating system. So because I haven't played this album yet live, I had to get a couple things in place. Okay, we're ready. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for the raid. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the tips. Thanks for everything. Let's do this. This is my 48th album. It's called Murder Terminology. The first song is called Dark Intent. All right. And we are rocking it. Murder terminology style. Okay, I'm getting myself situated. I got a light going wonky here. Second time tonight. Correct that real quick. And fortunately, this one is an easy fix. Let's get it back to the correct channel. There we are. All right. And we are positioned and we are rocking. Get out your dictionaries. It is time to study murder terminology, kids. I'm dropping pics all over, because that is what I do. Okay, I think I've got myself arranged. This was a quick little turnover. What we got happening in chat here? Yeah, hopefully. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a very interesting kind of a trip down music theory, composition ideas to do this many albums. And I had a period for 11 months. I did an album every 7 days. I released a new album every Friday, and it was a crazy time of just like gung ho. It's like, compose, transfer into my recording program, record, produce, publish, start over for 11 months. I did 49 albums in that 11-month period. It was just great for my musical development. It was a lot of fun. And this album is actually a bit later. No, this would have been just right toward the end of that 11-month period, because this is album number 48. At album number 50, I kind of slowed down, took a break, changed some of the things about my production and stuff. So the pick war is endless. That is so true. Yeah, I've got 3 left on my desk in front of me here. There's a couple on the floor, and I've got a jar back here with about 200 in it. So I do have picks around if I need them. But I learned very early on in my my journey to being a performer that have extra picks. And it's actually, in my opinion, as a music teacher, it's a good thing that you drop your picks. It means you're actually relaxing while you play. And that's, no matter what instrument you're on, being able to play relaxed is better. So yeah, let's move forward. Play some more music. Let's get some more smoke going. I'm kind of running out here. And yeah, let's get to going. We're gonna do some D minor here. We're gonna crank it up to about 144 beats a minute. This song is called Sacrificed in Thy Mirror. rocking. Okay, oh, I just hit the wrong thing. Get my camera set here and I'm in the right spot. I'm in the right spot. Good. Okay. Whew. And we are talking about Red Dwarf over here. For those who are wondering about the abbreviations going on, this is all Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf comes up very often in our streams. Very, very often indeed. The Committee for the Liberation and Integration of Terrifying Organisms and Their Rehabilitation into Society. And it does have a somewhat unfortunate abbreviation. Yeah, great stuff. It's located on the G string. I'm glad you liked that, Glenn. Thank you very much. We are geologying and we are tumbling, rocking and rolling until the break of day. Actually, well, depending on where you're at, it might be the break of day. It's kind of the break of night over here in Eastern Washington, where I'm rocking out at. Everyone, if you're interested, put up the state or country you're watching from. Let's see where people are happening here. And I'm just trying to align my musical world here. The quick changeover was not something I was ready for, but I'm glad that we did it, because it's always fun to keep playing guitar. I love playing guitar. It is just freaking awesome. The fact that I've got a life in which I can play guitar for a living is just amazing to me, and it's such a thrill that people come in and watch my shows and hang out, and that I have students and all of that, that I have this studio and all of this extremely cool lighting setup, and yeah, it's pretty amazing. So let's do it. So we're gonna bump it up a little more tempo-wise. We're going up to 155. We're kicking it back over to E minor. This one will be playing 6 natural notes and 1 sharp. It's gonna be an F sharp. The song is called The Winter of Terror. we're kicking along. I clearly set up my camera switcher to end on the wrong camera on this album. But that is easily rectified. Got all the way from DC, that's awesome. So yeah, you're a lot closer to the crack of dawn than we are. I got several people in Washington State who are very regular. My brother just came in. Welcome, Ron. Thanks for coming in, bud. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah. Your chopper is almost done and looking wicked sick. I'm sure, I'll tell you guys, my brother is, when he builds like a motorbike, sounds like he's building the chopper, he does a wood carving or something like that, it always comes out just freaking awesome. He'll like have this design idea and he just, landscaping, I mean, that kind of, he's just great at that stuff. So, yeah, that's cool, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that whenever I see you again. I mean, now that Sarah and I have moved over here pretty close to the middle of nowhere. I like to say we're not in the middle of nowhere, but we're within walking distance of it. Don't see people as often anymore, but we're also massive introverts, so that doesn't bother us too much. But yeah, thanks for coming in, everybody. And so we got, we're near DC, and then we got, apparently Doc here is from a very small nation between Mexico and Canada called USA. Not familiar with that, never heard of it. That is new to me. I'm in Washington, so I don't know what USA is. 9 Quackenbush. Oh, I thought that was my brother talking again. Could Ron run 9 Quackenbush machines on? Yeah, he could. Easily. Absolutely. That would be so right up his alley. He'd be like, oh yeah, I totally get this. And he'd be like, just cranking it out. Yes. So, in fact, I have no doubt my brother probably knows what Quackenbush drills are. He's used a lot of tools in his time. So, I don't mind bragging about people that are good at stuff, like Doc and his drums, my brother and his creative motorcycle works, Etherglow and his raid. Awesome. Loving it. Okay, so moving along here. We're going to get into some B minor now, keeping it kind of high paced here. I think we do have a couple of slower songs coming up here in a bit. But we're on song number 4 of album number 48, second album of the night. The album is Murder Terminology, and this next song is called The Dance of Annihilation. Did it again. Did it again. I think my third or fourth time tonight that I... you're making another pedal bike chopper. Oh, he did that when he was a teenager, and it was awesome. This one's going to be killer. So... cool. Let's do it. Dance of Annihilation. Good to see that you practice your rage, Other Glow. That's always good. I will definitely try to check out your stream one of these days. What else we got going on here? Yeah, I do like to. I don't check out other people's streams as often as I would like to, but a lot of that's just because I'm busy with a lot of other stuff, like working on my music and, practicing guitar and reinstalling Windows 10 and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, there are so many just really kicking streamers out here. One of my students and friends, Michael, who goes by Empty Labs on Twitch, he turned me on to the whole Twitch thing. The very first person I ever watched was Scene of Action. I don't know if anyone out there is familiar with Monty, who goes by Scene of Action. He's also a Washington State. I think he's in the Vancouver area. And more kind of straight ahead rock. Great feel. Really cool set. And he kind of inspired the whole fancy light setup. His setup is quite a bit different than mine, a bit more advanced. I think he's got like 14 cameras going. And but yeah, great stuff. Really fun to watch Monty play. I really enjoy his stuff, it just seeing all the talent on here. I love the internet and what it's done for capacities to do this. And now that I'm living in Eastern Washington, it's like, oh, look at all my performance opportunities in person. It's not as much out there, but I can do this, and it's fantastic. So it's good stuff. All right. It's no one like Randy. It's not Doc, thank you very much. Much appreciated. The compliments do make me feel very good. And Doc did an admirable job drumming to my music. I had two live drummers on that first album, Doc and Braden, who have met. Both very cool people, excellent drummers. Had a lot of fun making that album. I use sample drums these days because I don't play drums well enough. I don't have access to a drummer who can, keep up with the pace I'm doing with this stuff, but it is good. And yes, it is definitely cheaper than store-bought beer. That pays for the hat. Oh, that is such a great episode. The Gunman of the Apocalypse. Speaking of hats, let's do this. Let's hat it up, baby. All right. I'm feeling like a little F minor, and that's a good thing because this next song is recorded in F minor. If I was feeling like F minor and the next song wasn't, that'd just be tough for me because this stuff has all been recorded in advance. So we're going to do some F minor here. Thanks. This is the very hat off of the album cover of an album called In This Fashion, which is like my 61st, 62nd, 59th, something like that, somewhere around there. It's in the same arena there of my later work. So yeah, we'll hat it up. We'll do some F minor. We're going to slow it down a bit to about 101 beats a minute. This piece is called The Phantom of Shame. Yeah. Okay. Ah, you're a waffle man. Dad block. Disco party. Read these backwards doesn't always work. Read them forward doesn't work this time either. Yep, no idea. I am a waffle man, but today I had pancakes. We picked up some heirloom flour, which is like not been hybridized and stuff. Tasted pretty much like any other flour you'd use. It's good. It was pancakes, so I mean that's always awesome. I love me some pancakes. Hey, I think I got a light thing again. That's what's going on. There we are. Those channels don't match up, it don't work. All right. So we're still rocking. Again, thanks for hanging out, everyone. Let's move into a little E-Phrygian action here. Who doesn't like a little E-Phrygian action? Everyone likes a little E-Phrygian action. I certainly do. No, it does not appear to be any fire safety concerns currently. There may be some people around on the show tonight who are familiar with the fire concerns. I once had a smoke machine catch fire during my show. It was very exciting. Cut that show a little short. Riker, a very young gentleman who watches with his mom Therese, was a little upset that we didn't get to the G-sharp minor portion of the show that night, but there were extenuating circumstances, so we didn't make it. Anyway, let's do some E-Phrygian. We're going up to a mid-pace, about 128 beats a minute. This is called The Altar of Madness. I just noticed here that we got a tip from Mike. Thank you, Mike. So kind of you. Oh, Doc. Oh, we're talking about it. We're back on Tom's finger here. For those who may not be familiar, if we have any new people in the audience, one of our regular viewers chopped off a bit of his fingertips recently, and apparently it caused a pain-based reaction. Surprise, you know? Who could have possibly guessed? All right. Okay. 5 or 6 stitches. Oh, I missed the despair squid. Who doesn't like the despair squid? The despair, that is, I think my favorite episode of Red Dwarf is Ticket to Ride, which is the one where they go back and we find out what actually happened in the John F. Kennedy assassination. That episode is brilliant, but the one with the despair squid, Back to Reality, I believe is the title of that episode. That is a freaking great episode. There's so much good material in that. I'd say for a long time that was probably one of my favorites, but I think that Ticket to Ride with Kennedy has surpassed it. So yes, thank you for all of that. Much, much appreciated. For Tom's sake, I hope that was not the case for a fingertip thing. Unless he's just into that, you know, who knows? I don't know what kind of weird stuff you get up to on your own time, Tom. But we actually have a song dedicated to Virgil, to Tom, coming up here after just a couple more. So we're going to have to play this one before we can get to the next one, before we can get to Tom's song. So let's do that. We're going to slow it down a little more here. We've kind of got some ebb and flow going. We've got some fast stuff. We've got some medium stuff. We've got some slower stuff. We're going to slow her down a little bit. This is called Forsaken Soul. I just hit the wrong button again. Man, I could be a dork sometimes. Well, that's not really true. I'm a dork all the time. It's kind of my thing. Okay, that should get us in the right spot. Yeah, okay, we're good there. Cool. So, still talking about Tom's fingers. Where'd the 7 kids thing come from? I'm not sure who has 7 kids, but that's a lot of kids. 8 kids. I'm not sure who that is, but I'm a parent. I had one who occasionally stops in and hangs out with us. She's an adult now, so she's a busy gal. So she's out doing her own thing. But she was a very easy child to raise. It was very, very lucky that way. But even at that, parenthood is painfully difficult. And 8 of them, that's got to be brutal. So whoever that we're talking about, whew, power to you, baby. Because they get a lot going on there. I met actually I didn't, who did I meet? The house concert I did for Randy, Tom's friend Randy, they had a whole bunch of their 13 pack there. Very good kids, very cool kids. Very clearly very well raised people. But they got a lot of people in that. I think a couple of them were like adopted from like a third world country or something. Yeah, they're awesome people, but it's a lot of kids. So that's not at all a segue into what I was about to talk about. See, because what you guys need to know is that earlier in the show we did something, and we're going to do it again because it's a thing. Now, the title of this song is Bleeding Out. Tom's already done that for us. Thank you. But that's not what I'm getting after here, because, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the second G sharp minor portion of the show. You are welcome. So let's do some G sharp minor, shall we? My guitar's ready. Your ear holes are ready. I'm on the right app. Let's bleed out. All right. G-sharp minor. That's right. You are welcome, Tom. And your song is coming up next, bud. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm kind of the same on that. Of course, my daughter is fantastic, but kids are a pain in the ass. Fortunately, my daughter was a very easy kid, but yeah, you could not talk me into producing offspring again. Particularly now that I'm 50 and I'm no longer capable of making children electively. So, yes. Yes, but I can't eat a whole one. That's a great answer. My daughter does not have children, and she doesn't want them. And she found this great thing that, because she is in her 20s, and people are like, "Oh, it's time for you to have kids." And so people ask her, why she doesn't have kids, and if she would just explain to them, I've decided not to have children, they keep pushing it. So my daughter found this great thing she'll do, where someone will ask her about when she's going to have kids, and she just looks them in the eye and says, "This bloodline dies with me." And then they don't ask her any more questions. And that is how I raise kids, baby. All right. Three-hour tour. Yeah, that's probably what we're going to have tonight. Yeah, actually, we've been on for almost 3 hours, so we'll probably be around a 3-hour show tonight. And Gilligan's Island is always awesome. Someone's not ready for tomorrow. I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm going to do the same thing I do most days, work on music. I got no plans really tomorrow. I know Sarah's going for a hike. I'm going to probably play guitar and, I don't know, eat some pizza. I haven't had pizza for like 3 hours. So, actually, it's probably more like 6 hours at this point, because I'm 3 deep in the show, so, yeah. But actually, I make a thin crust pizza, and my main pizzas, the thick crust and the deep dish, I make those with, all my crusts are homemade, and I make my thick crust and my deep dish with a beer batter pizza, which is fantastic. So I've got this great recipe for thin crust, and I've tried it a couple times, kind of tried things a little bit differently to make it a beer crust, and unfortunately, that one's better with water. Some things work better with water. Like, for example, one thing that works great with water is drinking water. I like water. It tastes like chicken. Yeah. So I mentioned on my show last week that I filmed this pizza tutorial for the deep dish pizza. And then I did a reinstall of Windows 10, and as of the last show, I hadn't even installed my video editing software again to work on that. So then I had to do this reinstall last Tuesday, and again, I have yet to actually install video editing software. So I've got it. I'm going to film one more brief thing. I need a brief image of me rope jumping for my pizza tutorial, which will make sense when you watch it. There are some interesting B-roll clips in there. So there's that. Yes. Hopefully the legging problem is not coming from my end. Hopefully that's just you, Doc. Good. Okay, you're set. So Tom is still here with most of his fingers. The majority of his fingers, if I understand correctly. Still probably in some pain. So I played this for him last week. I'll play it again this week. This is a song that I dedicated to my good friend Tom. I've known Tom for quite a long time now. I'm kind of auxiliary to that group of Doc, Glenn, and Verge over there. Virgil and Tom are the same person, for those who may be wondering why we're using those 2 different names. Anyway, this 48th album, as on every album, I dedicate at least one song to someone. This one went out to my buddy Tom. We're slowing it down again, getting some C minor action. And here's something I'll say about this piece. As I've mentioned many times, my songs, these guitar solos are improvised, but I will occasionally have it's a motif that I will write in. So again, I'm going to play this thing on guitar, and that will kind of set up the mood, the feel for what I should do with guitar. And the motif in this one is, as soon as the music hits, I play the motif. It's just over 2 measures long. It's the so that's the motif that I've set up for the guitar solo. And this is one of my absolute favorites of all of the motifs that I've come up with. It's just that I really like the feel of that little 3-string riff. It's just a C minor chord with a couple of little extra. I got an add 6 in there, and actually that's it. It's like a C minor add 6. Technically, a C minor add flat 6 chord is really all that's going on there. But I love the way that came out. So Tom, this is going out to you, baby. to say that if Doc is not copy pasting these quotes of Red Dwarf, that he is knocking it out of the park tonight. Because he is hitting those in the face. Thank you very much. And Tom, you are welcome. Thanks for being an awesome guy. Much appreciated. Absolutely appreciated. And, okay. That would be really impressive if you were just getting that stuff from memory. I'd be like, dude, wow. You got me. Yeah, the world's a crazy place. And, you know, you sometimes hear people talk about how we need more love, more friendliness, more peace. We need people to get along, an end to crime, end to poverty. Well, I disagree. I disagree with that. We don't need any of that stuff. That's what this next song is about. We're kicking up to 170 beats a minute. E frigid again. And we're going to get mean. We're going to get evil. This song, the last of the evening, is called Hatred Grows Too Slowly. That's like the fifth time tonight I was on the wrong window again after my big dramatic build-up. That's for you, Therese. I forgot I have to arm another track on this. I did the same thing last week. I totally did this last week. I have to arm track 2 and not be a dork. All right. See? Like I said, hatred grows too slowly. My hatred has just grown, but not quickly enough. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, Randy, you're so silly. And my light just went crazy again. Perfect timing. Brains are squishy. That is true. This show is officially longer than it took the SS Minnow to get lost. That's a good quote. I like that. That's beautiful. Oh, so good. I need all my fingers to type. Scotch and computer monitor. You guys get silly as the show goes on. Of course, you get silly when the show starts too, so that's all fine and good. Nonetheless, thank you all for watching. This has been a really fun show. I only planned on doing one album tonight. Etherglow, thanks for the raid. That kept us going. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the tips. Thanks for watching. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for listening. Thanks for smelling. Thanks for tasting. Thanks for licking your monitors. Whatever kind of weird stuff you guys are doing where you're at. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, thanks for doing it. I play every Friday at 8 o'clock Pacific time. Convert that to your own time, and you'll be able to be here. Don't know what album I'm doing next week. I will definitely be doing Friday. Thursdays are always a possibility. I do occasional streams on Thursdays that are just a variety of stuff. I've done rope jumping. I've done putting the floor in this room. I've done composition. I've done all kinds of crazy stuff. Just sitting and chatting, recording. All kinds of stuff happens on Thursdays. So, again, yes, thank you all. I'm the Mad Poet. You are an audience. Check out themadpoet.net. Come back next Friday. Check the links below. Check me out on YouTube, Noise Trade, Bandcamp, themadpoet.net, YouTube. I said that. Twitch. Whatever, man. Whatever. This is awesome. Thank you so much. It's time for me to get some food. You guys have a great night.